And just like that, we've wrapped up the 25th staging of Dominica's World Creole Music Festival. If you were at the Winter Park Sports Stadium October 24th, 25th, and 26th, then I know you had a spectacular time. And thank you also very much for being part of that incredible experience. Good morning to all of you tuning in right now, right here on Talking Tourism. My name is Mornelle, Alexis, and this morning I'm your host. And now Talking Tourism is a product of the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority. This morning we're talking WCMF 2025. It happened just a few days ago. Can I say 1, 2, 3? Just a few days ago we had the World Creole Music Festival. Man, I had quite a time. It was so good. My feet are not working too well, and it's okay. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to soak it. I'm going to still wear my heels, you know. You might see me limping in Roseau, but hey, it's all right. I had a great time. With me in studio this morning is Miss Ayodele Andrew. Ayodele Andrew, she's the Festival and Events Manager of Discover Dominica Authority. She's responsible for managing the festival's planning and managing the festival and events in Dominica, well, with regards to the Ministry of Tourism. And this was her biggest event to date. Ayodele Andrew, good morning. Welcome to the studios of DBS Radio.
Good morning, Mornelle, and good morning to the listeners of DBS this morning. And I'm still trying to get my voice back to normal.
That's absolutely fine. I want to congratulate you on a successful staging of the World Creole Music Festival. I know it has been a very challenging project, but as a team we did it, and you were a great lead on that one. So kudos to you, and of course to everyone at DDA DFC for putting on this amazing job. Ayo, your voice not so great, your leg not so great. What's going on?
Well, I mean, it was, I don't really have words to even explain how incredible it was just going through we had the lead up towards producing the festival, but the actual 3 days and just being able to execute a festival by all reports that, you know, everyone had a great experience at the festival. So we are definitely very proud of that.
And pray tell, what does the success of this year's World Creole Music Festival mean to you personally and professionally?
On a personal note, for me, it's, you know, I've worked with festivals around the Caribbean and North America and Europe, and it's the first time that I'm producing a festival at home, being part of the team that, you know, delivers an excellent World Creole Music Festival. And of course we had a lot of challenges to overcome as we were in the preparation phase and the execution phase, and we are just thrilled that we had a successful event. So for me it feels almost cathartic that, you know, to be part of this at home, because the Creole Music Festival is a product that I've always admired. I've always been proud to say that we have this product in Dominica, and so it feels very much like just coming home and being part of that and seeing it unfold and being part of the unfolding.
You mentioned being part of the unfolding. I understand that this was a team effort. Let's talk the team behind the staging of the World Creole Music Festival. I know our CEO, Marva Williams. She has been instrumental in the success of this venture. Let's talk a bit on the team.
Well, the entire team at DDA is really the core at moving the production of the festival, but I also want to look at, you know, we have a broader team that we engage for the venue management, the stage, sound and lighting crew, the operational aspect of putting all the venue together, the vendors, all the support team, the Windsor Park Sports Stadium management and the team, and of course the collaboration with health and safety, security, the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. It's an extensive team. The hospitality service, the transportation service providers. So it's quite a broad network, a wide ecosystem that allows us to be able to produce the festival.
All right, so I want to say thank you very much. I want to add my voice to that, and thank you very much to all the team supporting the festival. I also want to shout out the NEP workers. They ensured that the streets are well taken care of. You know, that if you looked at the sidewalks along throughout the island, you would have noted that the space had been well manicured. Beautification was on point. So thank you to that support. And also thank you to all the cleaners and the sanitary workers, you know, who ensure that the washroom facility and the grounds are clean throughout the festival. Thank you so much for that amazing work.
Okay. Mornelle, I'm not sure what's happened, but I'm not hearing you very clearly.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's very low.
What about now?
Let's try that again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's very low.
All right, we're going to have someone come and sort that issue for us quickly so we can hear each other well. Yes? But as we sort that out, as well we get that sorted, I want to take a minute to say thank you very much to all the sponsors who made this staging successful. Thank you very much to the government of Dominica, our presenting sponsor, to Tropical Shipping, National Bank, Digicel, Republic Bank, West Indies Oil, Caribbean, DHL, RFS Express, HHV Whitchurch Insurance and Travel, Pirates, Colibri Ridge, Dasper, Alliance Francaise, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, Patty Shack Dominica, Fine Foods Inc., Belfast Estate Limited, Springfield Trading Limited, Do It Center, Danger Day Entertainment, Unicomma. Thank you also to our airline partners, Liat and Sunrise. To the local media, thank you also very much, DBS Radio, Carry FM, Vibes Radio, Q95 and MO News. And to our regional media, thank you, The Wave, MBC Radio, Television, HTS Radio, Starcom Networks, CBC Radio, Guardian Media, Hot 93 FM, Trend Media, RCP Media and CBN, Philsburg Broadcasting, Class FM and Zip FM. Thank you very much for your support. Ayo, can you hear me now?
I can hear you very clearly.
Blink twice if you can hear me now. Okay, she's blinking. Awesome. So let's go back to the nights of the festival. When you look out at the crowd each night, what did you feel Dominica achieved?
Well, looking at the crowd each night was, every night I was stunned that, we had such a great attendance. I think at one point in time on Saturday night, we really expected, very high numbers. Saturday night is usually very well attended. But at one point in time on Sunday night, when I looked out, I was like, this is Sunday night. Mm-hmm. And it was as filled as Saturday night. Mm-hmm. So I think people, but one of the things I realized, I was like, okay, people took the message that we said to get their season ticket. Yes. And not just get nightly ticket. And it was very heartening to see that so many people came, and also people stayed well into the morning, mm-hmm. well past the daybreak on Saturday, well into Sunday morning.
And that was go ahead.
So that goes to show that our messaging, very importantly, our messaging got out, to really encourage people to come to the festival, to come to all 3 nights, and to stay for the full event.
And some persons in the foreign countries, they take it as a challenge. can I stay up for 3 nights straight in a different country fetting? So this was something that they actually took on. I love also the fact that a lot of them came with their flags. So it was easy to identify, and that was important to me in particular, because at the end I would love to know who are the people in the crowd. So I saw Canada flag. Okay, there's Canada, there's Suriname, I see Antigua, I see St. Kitts, I see an American flag there. So at least you saw the different people from the different countries, and it made you feel like, hey, okay, so the marketing effort, it actually worked. The people showed up and they showed up and they represented.
For sure.
And kudos to the Dominicans who actually came out with their flags as well. We did see quite a few Dominicans with their flags supporting the festival and the messaging. And yeah, so it wasn't a situation where it's just flags from the other islands that's dominating our festival, but we had lots of Dominica flags as well. So it was beautiful.
Certainly.
It was a beautiful mix.
Well represented.
Well represented.
Sure. Yes.
Let's talk about our local performers. So they delivered powerful sets. How proud are you of the homegrown talent represented on the World Creole Music Festival stage this year? I know that we had quite a few of local artists.
I think the Dominican artists truly, as they always do, always, I would say the Dominican artists always bring more than their A game to the festival. And I also think they also have set the stage for other artists coming to the festival, that the standard that they have to meet is what the Dominican artists deliver. Like, Triple K, Asa Banton, Signal Band, all the individual bouillon artists that we had on as well. And when you had like WCK, every single Dominican artist delivered. The performance by Midnight Groovers was, for me, one of the best that I have seen, and especially the crowd response and the interaction. The Lady of Song, Ophelia, and Michael Henderson and Elisha Bino. That was a very nostalgic performance. Just hearing the music without even seeing them at some point in time, I just could hear and you could feel the energy from the crowd. So I believe most certainly the Dominican artists give more than a great account for what Dominican talent is, and to really show that we are definitely leaders in not only producing music and our creativity, but how we deliver performances. And I truly feel that that's a standard that we have set, and it's an expectation that people have when they come to the Creole Festival.
I concur, and there were some people who were discounting the artists or local artists, and they were all awestruck. They were very much surprised at how great the local artists were. For me, my best moments were seeing our local acts on stage. That did it for me. I love Nice, I love Rio, I love Roy, I love Ebony, all the guys, Signal, TK, WCK, the local acts, they were my favorite acts, my favorite moments on stage. So kudos, guys, you represented well. Also shout out to Fifi. In fact, let me go through the list of every night and spotlight the different local artists that we had on stage. On Friday, we had Midnight Groovers and TK International. On Saturday, night 2, we witnessed WCK, Gordon Henderson, Ophelia.
Actually, we moved to WCK to Sunday.
Yes. And Sunday, CK on stage. Listen, I'm not sure if the move did it for you, but you did it. You did it.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that.
Well, let's continue. So Linford John, Asa Bantan, First Serenade, Roy, Ridge, Pudas, Kenny G, Fifi, Ebony Empress, DJ MJ, Little Boy, Kwan. Kudos to you guys. You did a stellar performance. I give a round of applause. Y'all made Dominica proud. Yeah, y'all made us proud. Good job. Good job. Also, shout out night number 3. We had on the main stage from Dominica, Ecstasy Band, Michael Henderson, Elijah Benoit, Trilogy, Nice, Rio, Signal Band. Another round of applause, guys. Excelente. Y'all did that, and you made Dominica very, very, very proud. And it's important that Discover Dominica Authority did that, because you cannot have the biggest stage of your island and not have your artists, your international artists perform on your biggest stage. You know, they travel throughout the entire world, Paris and further afield, at big events. And so they're on our biggest stage. And a lot of them, they aspire to be on the biggest stage. That is the World Creole Music Festival in Dominica. And as we learned last week with Michael Henderson, the festival is a launch pad for lots of local artists. From the festival, they get lots of bookings for other events throughout the world. So I'm hoping for great things to come for our local artists. I big up to them one more time for making Dominica proud. And we look forward to more amazing things from you. Lots of them, they had great introductions. Someone came on bike. Booyah Barbie had a whole Barbie doll case. Mm-hmm. You know, Asa Bantan came from a crane. Listen.
Well, we know that Asa Bantan is always going to have a theatrical entrance every year. It's going to be something for the books that you will always remember his entrance. So
that is
it's
correct.
just what the question is, what is it going to be?
And interestingly, lots of people remain regardless of the time Asa is playing. Lots of people stay because often he would end the show, so people would stay just to see his entrance. So we knew he did the ambulance. You know, once I think there was a coffin. At some point there was a horse. So it's like, what is going to happen this time? So he came from the air onto the stage. Stellar. We love it. The question is, Asa, what are you going to do next year? You know, you always have to think of something bigger than the year before.
He has 12 months to figure that out. So I'm sure it will be something spectacular.
Certainly. But you mentioned WCK earlier. What about WCK's performance today?
So, yes. So, as you know, WCK was meant to perform on Saturday night. Yes. After Asa Bantan. And we were in the artist pavilion. And, you know, I was sitting in one area. And Marva came over to me and she was like, oh, you know, she said to me, Ideli, come, let's check in on something. So I looked at her and I said, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And she was like, you thinking what I'm thinking? And we looked at each other and we were like, yeah, I think so. So she's like, okay, let's talk to them about it. And we didn't say what the thing was we were thinking, though. But it was so interesting that we both at the same time were thinking about, you know, moving WCK to Sunday night because we were looking at the time and Asa was on stage and we were like, and we approached them about it and they were, and I really do want to commend very much WCK band and because they were all set to go, they were dressed, they had already, their setup was already done, and when we approached them about it, you know, they were very open and ready, you know, to make that change, and we really appreciate that, and that really shows, you know, the collaboration and cooperative efforts that goes into producing the festival, what happens behind the scenes, that people don't get to see that type of communication. So I really do want to commend WCK band for how quickly they were able to respond, because I mean they were fully dressed and ready, and I know for artists there's a mental preparation that you have when you're going on to do your set, and then to ask them, you know, to change and then come back the next day to do that prep all over again. So we really appreciate them for doing that, and they delivered, I mean, spectacularly on Sunday night. Yes.
Thank you very much, WCK. Yes. So Friday, we ended on Saturday morning, about sometime after 7 minutes to 8. On Saturday, we started somewhere 7 after 7, and we ended sometime minutes to 9 or after 9 in the morning. Yeah. And there were lots of people still at the stadium with their flags, very energized for that performance. I think Ezra the Fun Machine and his crew from St. Lucia, they closed the show for us. That was an amazing
That was history making, you know, and Kendall from TK brought that to our attention while, you know, Ezra was just about to go on stage, and he came up to Ezra and he shook his hand and he said to him, you know, you're making history. You are the first act to go on after TK at the festival.
Yes, because TK
and to close the show after TK. And, you know, I said to him, Ezra, you're always making history in Dominica. He is the, you know, he came from being a patron at the festival. Everybody knows Estra for having his big St. Lucian flag, and then coming on as an artist in 2022, was it, or 2023?
I think it's
He
23.
came on as an artist, and then to come back again, and this time to close the show, and he did a great job
Yes.
in closing out.
The crowd was very receptive. I was
night
there.
one.
You know, I was up. My foot is sick. He's partially the cause of my problems. But you know, we loved it. And I want to say shout out to all the St. Lucians who came to Dominica. And it's great to see how much support he had for the festival.
Well,
and his team, they stayed throughout the entire weekend. So they're there from Friday to Sunday. I saw numerous St. Lucian flags. When the Denry segment hit the stage, the crowd went wild. And of course, many persons, they actually stayed in the stands as well. So if you were at the stadium, yes, on the ground we had probably thousands of people standing on the grounds of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, but there were also maybe hundreds of persons sitting on the stands as well.
yes.
So this was incredible. I cannot wait for the data to be released, so we know the
Yes.
exact figures, and that would happen sometime soon, maybe by next week perhaps, for the latest. We can present to the public how many persons actually attended the festival, what the tourist arrivals were like this year. I anticipate some great figures.
Yes.
Based on the numbers we
Most
saw at
certainly.
the festival and the traffic around Roseau and the expression from many individuals who participated or benefited from the festival, I know the numbers exceeded last year's figures.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly.
Next question for you. We welcome visitors from across the region and beyond. What feedback have you been hearing from them about Dominica and the festival?
So I'll start with the artist. Of the every single artist, every artist who performed gave incredible feedback. And I will say their feedback also, after having done their song check, they all they just commended the stage management team and the sound and light crew. So because for the standard and the quality and just the Dominican experience that they had. Some of them were here for 2 nights. We had some artists who were actually here for 3 nights who went on tours, and they all commended the Dominican hospitality. Up to this morning, Tiwa Savage, manager, called as they were leaving, and he said he was so thankful for the hospitality that they experienced, not only from the production team, but everywhere they went on did a tour yesterday, and they said just Dominicans as a whole, everybody they encountered, people were just warm and so hospitable, and they'd really love to come back. It was such a great experience, and that's generally the feedback that we get from the artists. They enjoyed performing on the show, and they enjoyed the feedback. There was really a lot of warmth and energy that they got from the patrons at the festival. And for the patrons, there's varying feedback, but all of it positive. There were those who said they really just couldn't keep up. They had to take a break. Somebody suggested that we put rooms at the top of the stadium so people could rent out rooms so they could take some naps in between if they needed to. But in overall, people were just thrilled. There was a show, a performance experience for everybody. And people have, of course, their favorites based on the genre of music that they prefer. And just the experience of getting into the festival. We didn't have bottlenecks at the gate with scanning the tickets. The food court, someone said to me, the food court was like its own zone. They went into the food court and they were like it was a whole different experience. There on the food court with the cultural groups, we had bands like Rhythm Knockers, DJ Taffy was there, and some DJs, and then the variety of food and beverage options offered by the vendors. And I'd like to commend the vendors here. That was a lot of people for them to feed, and they really was turning over so that people could get food all the way into the morning. So I think all these factors contributed to people overall, having a good, um, ecstatic, immersive experience at the festival.
I agree. And also to add to that, part of the experience on the grounds, there was a space to the back where we had a photo area. And that photo space also promoted our other events. Because we know Carnival is coming, is soon approaching, February 16th and 17th, 2026. There's a Jazz and Creole event happening sometime in May. And there's our Sunrise event that precedes the Mass Dominique event. So throughout this space or in that particular area, you would find someone. There's a signage. I love WCMF. Want to shout out to Mr. Greenaway for that sign. He posted on Facebook that he created that sign. So shout out to you. We love that. And of course, individuals took photos. So I saw lots of photos with the different event brandings from Dominica, which is of course a great way to promote the events that we're having throughout the entire year.
And that
So
same
was a beautiful
space
touch.
also was dedicated to showcasing the icons of Calypso. So there was a gallery with the tall panels, just with each icon from the of Calypso. So I saw lots of people taking photos there as well. So that's very encouraging.
Yeah, and that's how we celebrate our icons. So it's not a matter of just saying, oh, there's Ophelia, there's Michael Henderson, but something was done at the festival to ensure that they got that visibility, not just from on stage, but also off stage. So kudos to the team for that great insight. Next question, how proud are you of the vendors and entrepreneurs who turned this weekend into an economic win?
Oh, we're certainly proud of them. We have been communicating with the vendors over the last few months in preparation for the festival. We had all the relevant training sessions with health and safety, environmental health, and really we stressed to them the importance of catering to larger numbers of people and even the type of offerings they had for their menu. And a lot of people and a lot of restaurants as well remained open later. Some opened earlier to offer breakfast, and there was a lot of Dominican food also on offer, which when the social media posts that I was able to look at, you could really see that was what people gravitated towards. A lot of people posting kalalu and pefawin and the cassava bread and the bakes and salted, like the local Creole food and the broth and things like that. So I think that this was a good representation, not just for the music component of our Creole culture, but the food, which is very important because people must eat.
Sure.
People must eat, especially going through those 3 nights. You need that fuel, and so being able to offer people a diverse food options that are, Dominican cuisine oriented, that made an impression on a lot of persons.
You mentioned culture, so let's touch on culture for a little bit. So Dominica's culture was on display at the World Creole Music Festival on the main stage and also on the forecourt of the World Creole Music Festival. Let's touch on that. How was that feeling for you? What are your thoughts? How important was it for you as festival and events manager to ensure that our festival or display of our culture takes the main stage and also the second stage?
So it's who we are. As a people, and we are Dominica's culture is one. It's very, it's hard to miss. If you're in Dominica, it's very easy to be able to identify what is in our traditional culture, and that's really what we were featuring, what is in our traditional Dominican culture and our heritage. So each night we opened with a traditional cultural group doing a presentation to open each night of the main stage, and on Saturday night we had a cultural extravaganza extravaganza feature, which featured stilt walkers. We had the big boom boom ladies. We had the some carnival costumes and groups, some sensei. So that is important to showcase as well, and to maintain, and also to encourage the persons who are involved in traditional cultural activities, because you want to encourage them that there is a space for them to be able to showcase their skills and talent and their work, and to encourage other persons to continue and to become engaged in keeping the traditional aspects of our culture continued, because that's very important. And one of the other things is that this year we also looked to ensure that we had hosts who spoke Creole. That was very strategic. Because we've noted that over the years that the hosts we've had predominantly English speaking hosts for the festival, and we need to bring back, because the language is an essential part of the Creole culture. And already we have so many artists who are performing in English, so it is important to ensure that we have the Creole language be a central part of the production for the festival.
Okay, so that was incredible. And if memory serves me right, I recall we had Sakis Lafokabwit. There was the Africulture Stilt Walkers, the Maho Lafokabwit performing as well. Did I miss anybody?
Yes, the Maho Sensei.
Maho Sensei
as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So kudos to our cultural group. You guys did a phenomenal job in displaying Dominica's culture on the main stage. And we look forward to engaging you guys in the very near future. Point to note, oftentimes when Discover Dominica Authority travel for different trade shows, oftentimes, some cultural component travels with the group to present Dominica to the world. Our next question, talking culture, legacy, and identity. What role does the World Creole Music Festival continue to play in preserving and elevating Dominica's Creole culture for future generations?
Well, certainly I believe that the bouillon artists have, is the prime example of how Dominica's culture and music has elevated because of the World Creole Music Festival. I think what we need to look at is, as I mentioned earlier, is the traditional part of the culture, in terms of preserving that part of our culture and heritage, to ensure that we have that featured more at the festival. When you look at other festivals, and even with Carnival, there's a lot of modern commercialization, and we've noted, especially for Mass Dominic 2026, people are truly gravitating to the authentic cultural aspect of festival experiences, and it's not something that we need to go to create. It's something that we have, that as part of us here in Dominica. So we just need to nurture and enhance and elevate and showcase. Most certainly continue to highlight and showcase. And I think with that combination, then we will not have any challenges with preserving if we do that.
I agree. Now, pray tell, how did you see Dominicans unite under one cultural heartbeat this weekend?
Oh, well, I think you could see the pride. And not just for the show or with the artists, just there was pride in people in seeing that we as a small nation is able to attract so many people to come to experience us, to experience who we are and what we offer. There are a lot of pride. You could see people, and at the festival, people were proud to see how well we were represented in every aspect of that.
And let's talk social media briefly. I know you read the comments like myself. How do you feel about the overwhelmingly positive response at this year's staging?
Yeah, it's exactly that, overwhelmingly positive. No, we should all be very proud, everybody who has been part of this production in one way or another. It is thrilling. I think we're still working. So, I mean, we're still in close enough. We have to transition the venue for Youth Rally, which takes place tomorrow. We're still seeing artists off, the media. We're still close enough. So, I personally haven't really taken time to process, that we've come for the first, because we're still working and closing up things. So maybe next week you can ask me that question and I can answer that honestly. I do want to take a moment before we go. There are a lot of people who work behind the scenes too, and to really make this work. I do want to single out some people who were key. And just even on a personal note, this was my first time working as producing for the World Queer Music Festival, and it was a very demanding year because we had it's the 25th anniversary. We had so many artists, we had various challenges, and first I really want to thank the CEO, Marva Williams. She was the former festival and events manager, and she provided invaluable support and guidance and insight from her experience, which really was instrumental, in leading the team to produce the festival.
And can also slide in, she's one of the best CEOs that DD has ever had. I'll slide this in. Anyways.
I cannot disagree with you.
Back to you, Aya.
So, and then of course with the team, so I'm going with the DFC team. We have Ogeli Moses, who has been, this is not his first festival, but we have he also, just from his experience, providing support, and the team, everybody really going above and beyond. Tyrone George, who recently joined the team in August as the festival and events officer, and he just really just stepped right in and worked very hard. And Marilyn, who has worked in the festival for numerous years with the hospitality team, and I think that was a very challenging and demanding year for her and the team. But I don't know, I was really worried about her at one point in time, with getting rest and sleeping. And for the venue, today I'm really just going to single out Sean Shillingford. I'm really just today. I think, the DDA team, everybody who worked at the venue, but just for today, I truly want to single out Sean Shillingford. Everybody knows Sean Shillingford, for sound and lighting. Sean is a lot more than that. Sean is an anchor. Sean is... let's just say we could not have done this without Sean. Like, if Sean was not part of this production, there are some people who are their contribution, how essential it is. We could not have done this without Sean. He functioned in every single area. Sean was able to provide support that was absolutely essential. And I am certainly indebted to him. Very much a glue keeping things together.
I also want to single out or add to your list, single out the Ministry of Tourism and the Minister, Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, for their work in ensuring the success of this festival. And also to the government of Dominica, our presenting sponsor. They pumped millions of dollars into this festival. This festival, our budget exceeded over $13 million. And the government, they contributed tremendously towards the success of this year's staging. So kudos to the government. Thank you to Honorable Pemberton. And a thank you to the team at the Ministry of Tourism. And not forgetting, there was a group of people in initial stages when we were doing our planning for the artists and the different artist reveals. There were a group of people. The names are not coming to mind. But I say thank you to everyone who played a role in some way, shape, or form to ensure the success of this year's staging.
Most certainly.
Even as we are the planners and marketers of the event, we cannot do it, or it would not have been as successful as it is without the different stakeholders. So we thank each and every one of them for their support. And to all the Dominicans who showed up, thank you for supporting Dominica's product, our product. We saw you. You guys came out in your large numbers, night after night. Thank you very much. And I know you guys are anticipating a better year next year. And Ayo, if we can pull another drone show next year. Listen. Let's touch on the drone show. We don't have much time, but let's touch on the drone show. So this is a special feature. So on Friday, there was an artist who came with one of the guys on the main stage. I think it's Protégé. Protégé came on the Friday night. So that was the Friday night surprise. On the Saturday, we had the drone show. And Dominica, we've never witnessed a drone show before. Ayo, how did your team come up with that? And I was trying so hard. Listen, it took a lot from me to not tell the public. Now we're going to have a drone show. I just kept saying, we have a surprise. We got a surprise. We got a surprise. I couldn't say what exactly it was. But that was the surprise. Everyone, eyes to the sky, mouth to the floor. Ayo, drone show. What was your initial thought process?
Very quickly, of course, 25th anniversary. So everybody was initially, of course, you thinking about fireworks. But we wanted to do something different. And actually, in discussion with Honorable Minister Dennis Charles Pemberton, Marva and myself, and we were looking at, other than fireworks, what our options. And the minister was like, can we explore doing a drone show? So we explored it, and actually, and this is a Dominican company, Dwight Winston, who is Dominican.
Okay, Dwight.
Yeah, so it's all homegrown, and when we initially approached him and discussed the idea, he was thrilled. I mean, he jumped right on it, and he also he sponsored. I wouldn't let people know that he also sponsored, came on as a sponsor, with the drone show, doing a percentage of taking on a percentage of the cost to have that produced. And I'd like to hear comment Ogeli, because in terms of the logistics that was needed to set up, I tasked Ogeli with doing that, and he executed with the logistics to having that done, because that was 200 drones to have that show, and each drone needed to be laid out on a 3 foot by 3 foot square. So you can just imagine. So all the drones had to be.
And that was in the park?
Nope, that was in the Botanical Gardens. That's where they were launched from.
Okay.
So that had to be set up. And the Wednesday night before festival, we ran the test with a few drones.
Where was I?
From the Botanical Gardens.
Portsmouth? Sure.
Yes. We to have that done, and I really want to commend Dwight and his team. They came in and they executed, and we worked on the storyline as well of what that storyline would be. So not only to feature the Creole Festival, but just Dominica. So you saw that it started with the Cicero Parrot, and it featured with the whale, with the for our marine environment. There was and the culture with you saw the man and the woman dancing.
And for individuals who want to see the drone show again, it is posted on the Ministry of Tourism's Facebook page. So you can head over there after the show, and you can see what the drone what the patrons experienced during this night 2 of the World of Creole Music Festival. That was stellar. Kudos to you, Ayo, and the team for that. Now, this festival is one thing to produce a festival or to plan the festival, and it's another to market the festival. Marketing the festival played a critical role in its success. Want to shout out the marketing team at Discover Dominica Authority, led by our CEO extraordinaire, Miss Marva Williams. Guys, you all did a wonderful job to ensure the success of this event, and it shows how important it is to invest in a product. You
Oh
spend money,
yes.
you get the returns. You don't want to spend money to advertise, products or the event may not be as successful. So a lot was pumped into marketing and promotion for this year's staging, and that proved to be a success. So I anticipate more work.
Uh,
Boy, more work next year.
yeah.
Definitely. But we're almost done, so we have to wrap up. So yes, thank you to the marketing team. I hope that's not the end for you. I know that while you have been planning the World Creole Music Festival, you have also been planning
Mass
Mass
Dominic
Dominic
2026.
2026.
Yes.
There's a Miss Dominica pageant happening on this side as well. So Ayo, how are you doing?
Well, teamwork. That is the most critical thing. Everything that we do, we have a small team. I always say that we work with a small team at DDA, and we pool our resources together, and that's how we make it through with teamwork, and trust that everybody is playing their role and being able to give support to each other where needed, and that's what's critical to us achieving success.
I know we plan to launch Mass Dominic 2026 soon,
Yes.
and then also everything else soon. So very soon,
Yes.
guys, I'm not going to give you a date, but very soon we will be launching Mass Dominic 2026, so you can get yourself ready. I know, listen, every year for Carnival, there's the parade with the floats and everything, so you don't have to wait for the date. By the way, it's February 16th and 17th, but you don't have to wait for the date to start planning your floats and all the exciting things that your business is going to do for Carnival time. So start
And
planning early.
yeah,
Because
because
it's gonna happen.
carnival starts January 10th, so really you just have,
So the calendar starts
I
on
mean,
the 10th
2 months.
of
You
January.
have 2 months to prepare for carnival. 2 months to prepare, November and December. That's
Definitely.
it. So because it starts from January 10th, so get in gear. We celebrate independence, and right from there we are carnival ready.
And while we're planning for Carnival, we're also planning for Jazz
Jazz
and
and
Creole. So-
That's on May 3rd.
Yes, so it keeps turning, and the beautiful thing is that we can plan and promote events in conjunction with promoting the island, because the idea is to encourage people to attend the festivals, but to stay to explore the nature, well, Dominica as an island, and also invite them. Our winter campaign has been launched, if my memory serves me right. So people are encouraged to come to Dominica during the winter time and experience Dominica and get away from the cold. And after that, we go back into summer. Come to Dominica. So there's always something happening with Discover Dominica Authority, where marketing and promotion is concerned, to ensure that we increase the number of arrivals to the destination, and we can support the different vendors and stakeholders in Dominica. And I'm pleased that events like the World Creole Music Festival, it impacts everyone. So the vendors, every vendor, the bus drivers, hoteliers, restaurateurs, everyone, some shape or form, we benefit. Even if I didn't get any direct benefit, I was happy to be there at the event. So for those of us who do not get anything back into our pockets, at least just being there is a benefit. Hearing the success of the product and its benefit on Dominica is a success as well. So yes, this benefits or impacts everyone on the nature island.
Okay, well, the reward I'm looking forward to right now is sleep and rest.
I'm trying to get some days,
Yes,
I'm trying to get some
sleep
days.
and rest and
Yeah.
have my voice restored.
But we cannot sleep for long because Carnival
I know.
Carnival is just around the corner, so I don't think we will be allowed to rest for too long.
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't see that being practical, considering the time.
Not
the
for
time
long,
frame.
just a little
Yeah.
bit, just a little recharge to rejuvenate.
I don't mind 25 days,
Oh.
25th anniversary. And all,
Okay.
25 days.
That's a fantasy, Mornelle.
All right, so just quickly, based on this year's success, what are you most excited to build on for next year?
Ooh. Mornelle, you're asking me questions things I haven't processed yet. But for next year, one of the things for sure I would really like to look at with the team is how our integration of the Dominican cultural our traditional culture, more integration of Dominica traditional culture on showcase at the Creole Music Festival, for sure.
All right, and then last question. If you could relive one experience, what would it be? Dum, dum, dum.
You mean like at the festival
Yes,
this year?
yes. Go back.
Wow. To relive an experience, I would go back to the experience with Marv and I with the WCK. Yeah. Actually, that was just on point. It's how it felt, because it just felt like when you're a team, you're just so connected. You don't need to speak the words to know.
Yeah,
and
what's
act
happening
together in unison.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for me, my stand-up moment during Bungee Garden and Fair and Lions, when they were performing, I was with my sister, and we were at close to the stage, hugging each other and jumping. Maybe that's why my foot got injured. But, we were jumping, we were exciting. That was the best moment for me, or at least one moment I would love to relive. She's going back to America soon. So shout out Maria Alexis. Thank you for joining us in Dominica for the festival. But it's about time that we wrap up for this morning, saying thank you very much for joining me for this Talking Tourism program. And guys, this is where we wrap up this morning. I want to say thank you very much to each and every one of you for staying with us. To all our visitors, welcome to the Nature Island. If you're here, remember to respect yourself, respect our people, and respect the environment. And do ensure you have a fantastic time. My name is Mornelle Alexis, and until next week, Wednesday, take care.